Irving Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning.
From Nimitz High School, it's the ICTN Game of the Week. District 9 6A volleyball. The Irving Lady Tigers traveling to the home court of Nimitz High School and the Lady Vikings. Hi, everybody. Rob Woolman with you. Mark Zeski joins me here in just a moment to talk about tonight's key matchup, the crosstown rivals. Really good crowd, as we always get between these two teams. Right now, after just one game in district play, Nimitz, MacArthur, and Skyline all victorious in 9-6A. Irving, who lost to Skyline, W.T. White and R.L. Turner at 0-1. Overall, Nimitz 12-8 on the season, the only one in 9-6A with a winning record. But, of course, things change when they count, and that is the district play. Talking to Coach Engeldinger just before this ball game, and she was saying how her girls played pretty well, and they lost. All their losses, the 8 losses, were in tournament play, except for one, and they lost to Arlington Bowie. She said that game just got away from them. In fact, she said just finishing a game has been the weak point for the Lady Vikings. On the other side of the coin, though, for the Tigers and head coach Sonny Cornelius, who you see right there, they've won 2 regular season games. They are 2-10 overall. One of those 2 wins was to Arlington Bowie, the team that defeated Nimitz. So try to figure all that out once game gets underway. You know, you throw all that stuff out of the window. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups and the starting lineups. First for the Lady Tigers, Addison Delatorre. Yes, that is a familiar name. Her dad coaches over at Irving High School. You have Posado, Figueroa, Alvarado, Flores, and Anaya, your starting 5, and Sammy Rios is your libero. Now, on the other side, for Nimitz and the Lady Vikings, Briella Box, who we see there in the middle, she is constantly a threat to slam one at any time. Rodriguez, Morado, Gray, Miles, and Benavides, your starting 6, and the libero for them is Paloma Orozco. And there's Coach Delatorre, an interested party. Gets away long enough from coaching the Irving Tiger football team to come on out here and watch Addison play some girls volleyball. We had a really good match before this one. And that one went down to the wire with the Lady Vikings winning that one. Well, let's bring Mark Zeski in, University of Dallas grad. He's coached basketball. He's been officiating volleyball, and you've been in Irving a long time, so you know what happens when a couple of crosstown rivals like this play each other.
Oh, yeah. There's always no love lost, and there's always a lot of energy in the stands, and people show up, and football coaches show up, and basketball coaches introduce the teams, and it's just everybody's involved. Everybody's excited.
Irving, who you saw there's the basketball coach for the Nimitz Vikings. Coach Donaldson. He had a really good, successful season last year, and boy, just a whisker away from winning by district against a much tougher and higher-ranked opponent. Boy, that was a fun game to do last year on ICTN. And I think the officials are here. This is where they check everything out, right?
They just make sure that the rotation is set right at the beginning, because if it's set wrong there, then they'll never get it back together again, hardly. So that's one of the duties they do. The other thing that they do is the libero can't come out on the court until they've checked the first 6, and then if coach wants to, the libero can go sub in for someone.
That's why you never get the libero in the starting lineup. So Crystal Anaya will come out, and Sammy Rios, the libero, will now number 2. They're right in the middle of your screen. She will come in, and Coach Cornelius told me he was pretty happy with the way his team has been serving. He says this has been those silly things where no one goes for the ball. He just kind of floats up and falls harmlessly down for a point. That drives him crazy a little bit. All right, Taisha Gray, the senior, will start things off with a serve, and here we go, game one. First one to win two, and we've got a violation. Someone hitting the net, and the ball will go over to Nimitz, and they will get the point. There's a point on every play, which I like. Instead of that, only get a point when you serve stuff. Gray will serve it up again. De La Torre keeps it in play. Figueroa sets it up. Nice slam by Flores, but the Lady Vikings able to hand. Benavides gets it back across the net, and they set it up one more time, and another good try by Flores. That's twice now, but she's almost had that one across the net. Near side slam off the top fingertips, and a score by Alvarado. Took a while to develop, but Irving got the point.
That was a good point. A lot of action for both teams. Nimitz made two good saves there. Looks like we're going to have a good match on our hands.
Tied at 1. And Cynthia Figueroa, who is also a setter, will serve it, and it goes out of bounds. Well, we talked about the football team giving the servers a little grief there for Irving, audio-wise, as she was trying to serve. So here goes the Nimitz Vikings, and Rodriguez with the serve. Barely gets across the net. Box mishandles it, and point to Irving. The net play, so much can happen at the net. Watch again. Here's the setup. Box just couldn't handle the play. And a serve goes across the net, touches the net, but that's okay. Box gets it across. Almost double hit by Flores, but she saves it, keeps it in play. Libero Rios keeps it in play as well for Irving. Try to slam, Box did, that was way too long. And Irving gets the point, but as I was saying, a lot can happen at the net. There's so many different variances.
And Flores is off to a good start for Irving High. She's been making her presence known.
Alvarado with the serve, kept in play by Benavides. Box relinquishes, Benavides over her shoulder. Flores saves it. Still in play and unable to get it across the net is Pensado, the outside hitter. And that'll be a point in the other direction, and we're tied at 3. If it's any indication early on in what we saw the JV, this thing could go 5. Rios saves, still in play. Got to get it across, and Rios does. Digging that out nicely was Jones. Box with the slam.
Boy, that was good in that play. I think if you talk to both of... Oh, she's got some ups there.
She does. Box on the attack. 4-3 Nimitz. First one to 25. Got to win by 2. Flores. Nowhere to go with that one. Gray back to Box. Tries to push it across. A little finesse. They try to set it up here to the near side of us, and no one was there. That's probably those types of plays that Coach Cornelius doesn't want to see. Jones will serve it up. Dug out by Rios. A little push over, and again, trying to catch him off guard was Morado. Slam down and good, a point by Pensada.
I think Coach Cornelius was talking about his girls were uneven, unsteady. They were up and down. And I think so far Nimitz has been already more steady. So I bet you that plays out as the game goes on.
Benavides with the point. Tatiana.
That was just that's just overpowering. She just gets up in the air good, and she's got a great angle, and she uses the whole wide court. That's a nice play.
Biggest lead of the game. The Lady Vikes 2 points. The serve just over the net and in.
You hate those when you're playing. It's almost impossible to do anything with.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't know, maybe somebody have been able to master that type of serve, but I think it's just one of those opportunities you take advantage of if you can get it across that way. Another great net play, this time by Morado. You know, with Morado and Box and Benavides, those 3 right there, they've got good height and size up front. It's tough if your middle defenders aren't as tall and can't get up. 8-5, that hits the net, some substitutions.
Well, both teams are subbing a lot. You like to see that in a high school game. Yeah, but Irving finds itself without some height sometimes, depending on the subs they make.
Delatorre with the serve. Got to get this one across, and Tatiana hit it way too far, and Irving has scored a couple in a row to cut it down 8-6. Madison hits that one right in the net. And point back the other direction. Now the Lady Vikings with some substitutions. You're looking at the libero, Arzasko, number 5. Over the back, still in play. Set up, slam, Gray did a good job. Roscoe keeps it in play. Near side, pushed right back, but well done by the Lady Tigers to keep it going. Benavides down the far corner, and the slam will not fall for Jenkins, the junior. Makia Jenkins. Not enough air on that one. Credit the Lady Tigers for just keeping that going. And the serve. Push. Orozco. Lady Tigers again on the attack. The southpaw. Saved by Rios. And Delatorre. And back across. Jones unable to handle. And the point to Irving. So just when you thought the Vikings were on a roll, the Lady Tigers come right back, Coach.
You hate to see that. That was a really nice long point, and then for to call a lift on it. I mean, it was a good call, but everybody had kept the ball going for a long time. It was nice.
Set near side runner. Point by Rodriguez, the starter, the senior. The middle blocker, that's her right there, number 6.
That would look like they might have been going out of bounds. You got to make those decisions so quickly.
Coach Engeldinger has so many tall girls on this squad. Miles now checking in as a middle blocker. Someone else with size. A couple of Lady Tigers, just look at that one.
Yeah, we talked about them being uneven and a little unsteady, and it comes really with inexperience. They had a big senior team last year, so a lot of their experience graduated.
Yeah, one district for the first time in 40 years. Incredible. And 2 returners from that team coming back. So it definitely takes the time to get your sea legs and everyone play on the same note. For the Lady Vikings, Coach Engeldinger told me, she goes, you would not believe how nervous, she said, her players were before the R.L. Turner game. She said they were shaking. She goes, it's just a, you know, it's a normal game. It wasn't our first game of the year, our first district, but not, you know, first game. Rand Miles knocked that one into the net, so Irving gets the point.
There, the Irving's height is checked back in. Number 12. See if that makes a difference.
Well, all Box had to do right there, and Scratchet Jenkins had to do, number 9, is just raise her arms. Didn't have to jump much, just raise your arms. Taisha Gray, number 12, the outside hitter, the senior, that's her there. She's checking in, she'll be doing the serving. You see a lot of subs when it comes to serve time, don't you? Ray will set things up. Good diving attempt, goes in vain as Pensado unable to handle that. Another point for the Lady Vikings. 5-point spread. I would suspect maybe Cornelius would call time perhaps for Irving if Nimitz rattles off a couple of more, or he feels his players like that.
Especially if the one server gets hot, that's a pretty good way to try to kind of ice them. Just call a timeout. Or you could sub like this. This will do it sometimes. It again just gives a server just a little cool off, a little time to think about something else.
Sato goes out. Centeno comes in on the back line. And that's her. She sees action right off the bat and can't handle the serve. And now it's 16-9. Keep waiting for the TO, but maybe one more point perhaps for Sonny in his second year. An assistant here for 3 at Irving High. Delatorre sets it up. The slam comes right back, but out of bounds. And Flores, number 12, Lizeth Flores, the middle blocker. She's the power.
Well, that's nice. They got up there and really did a good job blocking, but they didn't direct it in the right direction.
That's half the battle. You got to block it, but then make sure it goes inbounds, right?
Absolutely.
Flores has got to keep it in play, and she almost gets a point out of the deal. And nicely done by number 6, Riley Rodriguez.
A lot of fans really like those plays, the little touch plays where they're trying to finesse it at the net, and you have to do that every now and then just to change the tempo, especially if you're a smaller player and you're going up against players that are bigger and can jump better.
Well, Rodriguez finishes with a bad serve. She did a great play before with a nice little dink and then hits the net there. Now 7-8. Pensado back in, Centennial back down for the Lady Tigers. Nimitz 8 points away from taking the first game of this match, but they've got a long way to go, as the case there, as Benavides unable to handle the serve off the arms of Fernanda Alvaredo. There's an outside hitter and also doing some serving. Fernanda really puts the mustard on that one. Gray saved it, so did Orozco. Benavides gets it to the net. I'm sure they're going to try to get it to Flores. Why not? Returned back, kept in play. Box couldn't get it over the net. Miles up. Box gets the point. Coach Cornelius talking to his only really tall player, Flores, after that exchange. Watch here, Coach.
She's just dominating the game with her return to her friends that are in there inside that are tall and can jump. It's just too much for Flores to handle by herself.
Roscoe to Rios. The set, Flores right back at her. Ball's in play, saved nicely by the Tigers. And they get the point.
They're not giving up yet.
That's the thing about this sport. You think they're dead in the water.
Just location on that one. She didn't try to power it. She just went for a location.
Roscoe couldn't save it. Benavides, that goes off the hands of the Lady Tigers, I believe. No? Oh, I guess they said she hit the net. See what happened here.
Oh, she went into the net with her body after the hit. Yeah, just kept on going. She had too much momentum to control it. That was a shame because that was a pretty powerful shot. It was too tough for the Tigers to handle. Crowd getting alive, coming alive here.
They are. Flores with the serve, kept in play. Slam, handled. A set, Benavides has it come right back at him. And a good job by Anaya and Delatorre there at the net. Really tag team D.
Really nice block here. They just gave her no angle to hit, and so one of their arms was there when she got it over.
So Flores will serve again. Boy, she's got a tough serve, doesn't she?
She's able to leverage her height there and really get a serve over that's got some power on it.
I believe maybe Irving touched the net, or hit two-handed.
Double hit.
Double hit.
What they're calling. For the most part, up until this last little run, Nimitz has really had them on their heels. Irving hadn't been able to set up anything because they've just been too busy trying to recover.
Dillingham now checks in for the Lady Tigers. Figueroa, the setter, will set. Nice low serve handled by the Lady Vikings. Near side, just too hard off the arms of Pensado. And the point back to Nimitz. They're 5 away from the first game. Orozco. We saw her the last time in ICTN. She got on a run serving. They reeled off about 5 in a row. With the left hand.
Nice play. Again, that's a little bit of finesse. You've been winning with power, and then you finesse them a little bit. Really set up nicely. The set is close enough to the net that she can do a lot of different things with it.
Hit it where they're not. Orozco saves it. Back in play, Alvarado over to Della Torre. And a miss hit off the arms of Jenkins. Nimitz down a player, McGee, who hurt her leg. Hasn't played, probably won't play the rest of the year. One of the key players for the Lady Vikings. The set and out of bounds, and point goes to the Lady Vikings, and they are 3 points shy of winning the first one. Going back to serve will be Morado. Rejected and back in play.
What a nice block. Yeah, Irving is not doing a very good job of sets. The ball's being put there for them for their big girls, but they're not just in a good enough situation to where they can really put them away. So they're having to stretch and to reach, and so consequently it's pretty easy for the Nimitz taller girls to put a block on it. The other thing that they called for the second time in a row was a double hit. And I think the Irving girls need to move their feet a little bit more. They're having to reach for the ball a little bit, so that will create that double hit. A lot of coaches of all kinds talk about moving your feet, and that's where it comes to play in volleyball, is that we're reaching for that ball, and so you double hit it, or you set it where you can't really, they can't really put it away. You set it a little off.
It's almost a given in every game we've watched where if you're down by a couple of points, that's the coach that calls the time. It seems like 23 is the magic number. Like, okay, we're getting close here. We've got to do something different, or maybe try to change the pace of the team that is at 23. But that was the case there as Cornelius called time. And it worked. He gets a point right off the bat in a momentum shift, or at least a change in scoring shift. 23-18. Couple more players in and out for the Tigers. Flores back in. The most important one is the libero does the serving for the Lady Tigers, and that goes off the hands of Jenkins. And another point, so 2 straight now for the Lady Tigers.
Timeout looks like a brilliant move.
Yeah, it is a game of runs in this sport. Pushed up, Della Torre over the line. Miles tries to slam it, hits the net. 3rd straight point now for the Lady Tigers, and they've cut it to 3 in game 1. So we might go in the flip direction. I bet if Irving scores again, we'll see the Nimitz coach call time. Miles wanted the set. Benavides gets it across the line, and the Tigers unable to handle, and now it's game point.
That was a really nice play. Nimitz really needed that one.
Gray will now serve it up, hoping for the game winner. High elevation, but Irving handles it nicely. Gray saved that one. Tatiana with the slam. Della Torre gets it over. Still in play, and finally the Nimitz Lady Vikings victorious. 25-20 in game 1. Watch the last point.
Oh, this is a really good point. It's got good plays on both sides. And then finally the ball just goes off the Tiger, and she can't reach it before it goes out of bounds. She's a little awkward and really is not in a position to get it back over the net. But that point was really showed kind of, I think, how even both teams have been. We've been pretty close on most plays and most volleys, and it just seems the Tigers are just a little off.
All right, so after game one, 25-20, Nimitz on top. Back with more action in a moment. Stay with us. Well, just a few minutes away from the second game, best of 5. First one to win 3. If we go 5, then they'll play to just 15 instead of 25. We were talking during the break, as you take a look at Sonny Cornelius, the head coach of the Tigers. We were talking during the break how a lot of the football players were lined up pretty close to the field of play, if you will, of the court. And I noticed one of the officials, and you being an official can relate to this, wanted them to move, and I guess basically they've got to stay on the blue line. And now that's really funny. They're behind a tiger tail. That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
They're behind the velvet rope, if you will.
That's pretty funny.
That's great. There they are right there, being told they cannot get any closer than that. And you're saying basically it could keep the girls away because it's in field of play.
Yeah,
they could.
If the ball's bounced off a Nimitz girl on that side and they still have a couple hits left, they can go chase it down. But this is a good solution, and I like what they're doing. You hate to ever tell somebody not to have fun at a sporting event, but we just want it to be, manageable and let the girls have fun too, playing.
All right, here we go. Number 9, which is Figueroa, will serve it up. Gray keeps it in play. They got to get this one across, and they do. Rodriguez does her job. Lady Tigers trying to surprise. Two-handed push. Does she use both hands or cup it?
Got a little lift, so didn't have a great angle on it, I guess. Yeah, the one thing when you watch volleyball, whether you're officiating or announcing or a fan, you count to 3 a lot sometimes.
It's a habit, isn't it? Roscoe can't handle that one. And the Lady Tigers are out to an early 2-0 lead. Figueroa hoping to keep this streak going and give her team a few more points. Roscoe trying to save. Benavides has to get it across the net on her 3rd shot. That hits the net. Point goes to the Lady Vikings. It appeared they were trying to hit Flores. They couldn't. Flores is waiting for it. So this is a good lineup for the Lady Vikings. When they have Box and Benavides and Miles up front, the 3 tallest players on this team. If it's net play, they should do well, and the Lady Tigers will have to adjust and hit over the net. Benavides, a nice solid slam, but doesn't fall in, and that could have been out. Saved. Got to get this one across, and they do so.
Great save. Well, nice block. She's over the net, though, on that one.
Good attempt by Flores, all for naught, and just like that, we're tied.
Oh, yep, Flores did. She touched the top of the net on that, so the official correctly called that a point for the Vikings.
If you don't make solid contact, your follow-through will hit the net. We see that a lot. I'm sure you see that a lot.
Well, that's actually part of those slams and part of those taxes, being able to pop your hand back sometimes.
Gray can't get to it in time. A point back over to the Lady Tigers.
Keeping close again. If your loser in a game is in the 20s, then it's been a close match. So we could well be in here for 5 games for this one.
Yeah. I thought you were about to say 5 hours, and I was going to say, what? Points. Well done by Box, and that's only, maybe the 2nd, 3rd time we've seen her.
Look at this beautiful setup, and she just drills it home. Not many people are going to stop that one.
Hit it where they're not.
But again, that was a beautiful setup.
Jones serving up. Orozco saves. And right back at you. Oh, those are they're frustrating for the team that doesn't get the point.
Yeah, and here we go, and you'll notice that every time Irving's number 12 goes up, there's 2 girls on her. So she's got her work cut out for her. Even though Flores is quite a player, I think Nimitz just has too many big players and they're shadowing her.
Yeah. Yeah, Flores is like the only tallest one out there, whereas the Lady Vikings have 3, 4 that they can put up there.
Well, they're able to sub in and keep literally 2 of them in at a time.
Point Lady Vikings.
And what happens in volleyball, like other sports, is you get a little frustrated, the other team gets a little momentum, and then all of a sudden you have a little run. And the Vikings are on one right now.
The libero who plays toward the back, they have to make such a judgment call on whether to let that ball go deep or keep it in play. Half the time, it feels from this angle that they could have just let it go and it would be a point. Nimitz scoring again. They're up 7-3 as we hit this timeout. Can you recall, as you have officiated volleyball, a team that just seemed to have a very dominant front line? Is there any one team that just sticks out in the course of your officiating?
Well, the Colleyville Heritage had a pretty good team a couple years ago. Well, even last year, and the one girl was supposedly one of the best players, and I can't remember her name now. They put me on the spot, but she was 6'4" and could jump. So that was a deal breaker for a lot of opponents. Yeah, so we called another timeout here trying to stop the momentum. Let's see if it works and can change, can disrupt the server a little bit.
And a much sooner timeout, I think, than what we had in the first game. Well, it worked on Jones as she hits the net on a serve. And now Flores, who we've been talking about as such a great frontline player, will now back it up and serve notice. She hits the net, so.
That hurts. That hurts. She's a pretty good server in the last game. The Irving took advantage of her serving to get a few points and gain momentum.
EP Scott Snyder pointed out it's like a walk in baseball. It's like just giving up a base runner, give up a run, give up a point here. 9-4 now, Lady Vikings. Coach Engeldinger telling me that her squad has played fairly well all year. She's been really, really happy with their play. It's just they just need to learn how to finish a game, finish a match. Well, you saw that coming. Box, she just started off from the middle, and by the time she took a nice jump, the ball was right there in her wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, excellent. She got to take a couple steps and she got to go across the court. She was in total control on that one. And one of the things that you talked about, Coach E is one of the best ones around here. And if you can watch the Vikings here, they're having a lot of fun. And lots of times you can go to a high school game and especially volleyball, and the team that's having fun seems to be the team that wins. Now, lots of times it's because they are winning.
Because they're winning.
Yeah, because they're winning. But the Vikings are very relaxed today. They don't have that feeling that Coach said they had against the Carrollton team.
Which on paper, they should have won. They did, but going in, you'd think, well, this is a team that should beat. Whether it's a slam or finesse, Box is on a roll, isn't she?
She's super play. She's got a feel for the game right now. And she gives up, and she's way up there, and she just touches it over. Fantastic placement. The back line can't go get it, and neither can even the people from the side.
Give Murado credit. She was the setter in both of those situations.
She's actually playing an excellent game. Sometimes the setter never gets enough credit, and she's playing very well.
Jenkins now in place of Box. Number 9 is Orozco will serve again, and this time they let it go, and it's too long. 13-6. Nimitz. Dugout, Delatorre keeps it in play. Is it in or out?
That's out.
Couldn't see from this angle. Jenkins tried to get the point.
Put a little too much mustard on that one.
Lady Tigers wisely let that one go. And Morado will serve it up. And Roscoe way over to the back line to keep that in play. Nimitz does just enough to keep the ball moving. The set, the slam, too hard. You have to rely on these matches. You know, you've got 2 paid officials that work the net. Then you have 2 volunteers that call the end lines.
That's an amazing thing. And as a matter of fact, I spent 5 years at Irving High, and I was a basketball coach. And I can't tell you how many times I had to do the flag because coach couldn't get anybody else to do it.
It's pretty much a given that the 2 men's guys basketball coaches, the JV and the head coach, are the ones that call it in and out. I've seen parents have to go out there and be the one. Ooh, that one almost went up over upper forearm. Two girls both going with it. Orozco, just a push. Just a push, and it's the simple things sometimes that turn into points.
That was another great point. It was a long rally. Both teams made some pretty decent plays, both on digs and even some offensive attack.
Jenkins, nicely done by Rios to keep it in play, and someone hit the net perhaps, or did they hit it twice? Yep. Biggest lead of the game.
Again, the Irving players are having to reach for the ball.
That one right in the face. Not quite a 6-pack, but it was a bouncer. 17-7, 10-point lead. And a point. Jenkins this time. We're going to see this a lot. The coach will tell you where to serve it.
Oh, good footage there of the JV coach calling where she wants the serve to go. What part of the court. Good camera work.
It's like stealing the signs in baseball.
What's happening here lots of times is that the Vikings are doing a lot better serving than the Tigers. And so the Tigers are always kind of reeling. They're always kind of recovering, whereas the Vikings are getting to actually set up and give their bigger players an opportunity to put the ball away. Like this one is a perfect example that even though that wasn't a great set, they've got the time. Irving's just not getting a chance to really set up their players at the net.
More in defensive mode?
Yes, very much so.
And there's one of those silly mistakes that Coach Cornelius said that he just wanted his girls to try to stay away from.
But it all starts with that the serve. If you can handle, if you can dig the serve, then you can set up something. But if you're having to scramble it like they are right now, they're basically giving now Nimitz an opportunity to set something up nicely. And
that's Gray. The set. Benavides, did it touch one of the hands? Yes, of Irving. And off the hands of an Irving defender who went down pretty hard. Kiana Dillingham. See it again.
Here's the replay. She goes up, just can't control it. Kind of loses her footing.
Gray serves for 5 points shy of winning game 2. And I think we'll have a substitution as
Dillingham here has been wearing the Tigers black and gold for 4 years. Really been a star on the basketball team. Hope she's all right.
Robles comes in now in her place. Gray's serve is high and right in the back of the line. Robles. To Roscoe. Benavides, and the return by Robles. She made contact, but hit it right into the hands of a taller player who was able to get it across the net, Benavides. And Lady Vikings are 4 points shy of winning the second one here. Set from behind, went off a couple of players. Count that one as number 7, Stephanie Morado. We've seen her do really well, and Rodriguez with the set. I mean, that particular lineup they had out there right there, Coach, they had 4 good girls that could play right by the net.
And again, they're getting a chance to set the ball up and getting the girl. She has a lot of options of what she can do with the ball because she's going from a position of power and a position of, you know, sometimes they can even hit the ball on the way up depending on how they want to do it, or they can wait till it reaches its height, and they can do the tip and be finesse, and they can just do a lot of different things.
The series has been Irving. Look at this, 14 out of the last 15. The Lady Tigers have won the games, the matches. Nimitz learned to split in 2013 for the first time in a decade.
It's pretty dominant. They both schools had good teams though last year, along with MacArthur. It's pretty exciting when all 3 teams make the playoff in the sport. Kind of rarely happens in any district. So it was a lot of fun last year for the volleyball fans here in Irving.
Flores knocks that out of bounds. Point 23 now for the Lady Vikings, and they're 2 shy. As close as we had game 1, game 2 right now just dominated by the Lady Vikings. Torrey pushes it across. Once again, here go the Vikings. Sometimes those pushes so effective because the other team, they jump and they miss jump. That one is good. And obviously, you hit anything in the ceiling, it's still fair.
If it's on your side and you've hit it, you can keep on playing it. So, but they couldn't get it over. That one was like a little bit of a pool ball or pinball.
And that was out. So Gray had a nice little run as the Lady Vikings are 1 point shy of winning game 2.
That was a good decision by the libero there. You talked about it. She was at the right spot to make a play on that one and make a good decision.
Well, you better be if it's the game point, right? Serve, set, Benavides off the hands of the Lady Tigers, and that is game 2, 25-9. So the Nimitz Vikings win again, Coach. Here's the play. Again, the net play, not surprising, so dominant there up close. All right, so the Lady Vikings with a 2-0 edge. We'll be back with the third in a minute. Stay with us. All right, as we return, you can see the Lady Vikes up 2-0. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsor for the ICTN Game of the Week, the charter sponsor of ICTN, Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning. Since day one, the Stavely family supporting Irving Athletics via ICTN GOW, Game of the Week. And we've got some football coming up next week. This particular week, ironically, it was some open dates, some bye weeks. That means no games at all. But we finally get to see the Redbirds of MacArthur against W.T. White next time on ICTN. You see the playback times. We'll see what Coach Brian Basil has in this year's version. The MacArthur Cardinals played Plano really tight. Plano winning that one. They lost the following week in overtime. First serve underway. Kept in play nicely by Figueroa. Benavides and scored. She's Tatiana, number 17. She has played really well tonight.
She's really enjoying herself. She got a smile on her face. She's moving around. She gets really up on that one and just powers into an open spot.
When we saw her earlier in the year, she played well, but not as well as she has tonight. A lot of height and extension. You know, she plays with that knee brace. Hit it where they're not. Rodriguez with the point.
I think the next couple of points here are going to be really important for the Tigers. They're just a perfect setup, and again the finesse right to where they wasn't. Oh, that's big. The mistake for the Nimitz opens the door for Irving here a little bit. I think if things don't go right here for Irving pretty quickly, if Nimitz gets on a little run, they could kind of give up in the back of their head whether they want to or not. They're kind of reeling from that last game.
Ball in play, save, dug out, Rios. Flores, she gets the point.
So they kept it tied now.
Yep.
A good job for the Tigers of recovering.
Just set it up to your one person you've got there by the net, and Flores, instead of blasting it, she just found the open spot. Gray tried to save that one. Boy, the Vikings doing a good job on that third hit of keeping it in play. And that is a point for the Lady Tigers. And now the Lady Tigers have strung 3 points in a row together.
Another nice hit to an open spot.
And Cynthia Figueroa, the setter, doing the bulk of the serving here. Miles, she got a running start. Irving handled it nicely. Delatorre gets the point.
A little cross-court action, trying to put it away. That was a great angle. You see she doesn't have to get up real high because she's going from right to left.
So just by the angle.
It helps her get it to a place where nobody can block it.
Orozco, that might have gone out of bounds. Flores, over her back, behind the head. Benavides, is it in? It's out. And it's 5-2.
A good call by the Nimitz coach.
Yeah, the head basketball coach. Honesty is the best policy.
It was out.
Orozco having trouble. Boy, saved nicely by Miles. And gets its way over the net.
Another nice save.
Delatorre got it over the net, but, well, they said she didn't touch it on the return. And point goes to Irving.
Let's see if it's blocked out of bounds here.
Yeah, well, Delatorre just didn't touch it. That was the thing. She went for it and missed.
She reacted but couldn't get there fast enough.
And it worked in her favor.
Yeah. And another point. All of a sudden, Irving's on the run.
7 in a row, and that's enough for Coach E to call time and reassess things for her ladies, maybe settle them down a bit. And that's, remember what she said at the beginning of the game, is that they couldn't finish games. They couldn't. That's the thing that has been getting on her nerves a little bit, is just finishing things out and completing the end of the match. Former Lady Viking Lacey Jessup in her sophomore year at Texas A&M Commerce. As we catch up with some former players, she's appeared in all 9 of the Lady Lions matches this year. Is 4th on the team in digs and is 6th on the team in service aces. So nice to see Lacey continuing her career in volleyball and doing quite well. So after the timeout, what will happen? Well, you get a point for Benavides. Not quite smiling like she was.
She probably got chewed on a little bit maybe during that timeout, or maybe her whole team did.
Probably maybe a reality check, like it's great to have fun, but
Coach E says let's have a killer instinct here, girl. Let's find it.
Rodriguez with the serve. Takes Irving 3 hits to get it back over. Benavides tried to be sneaky, but both Delatorre and Flores right there, the 2, or right at the net.
And if you see here, they really got the angles covered, and no matter what the speed it was, they were able to get it back over.
That serve is out of bounds.
That hurts. Can't give them away the points like that.
Substitution, Miles goes out, and Jones comes in.
All right, we're bringing in our good server here, see if we can turn the tide a little bit.
And a missed jump by Boggs.
Just kind of a whiff. thought she had it, and you jumped too early or too late. I can't.
Timing about everything, you know, that's why you see a lot of these at the net. Instead of going up and really spiking it, they kind of delay, and the other team jumps up, and on their way down, here comes the ball.
Nice dig, setting up.
Kept in play nicely by Ayana. Dug out by Flores.
Nice play.
Over the two outstretched arms of the Lady Vikings. Benavides just found the open spot.
Really good point. Kind of a not exciting finish to a really great point. But she just, if you look here, she just finds where it's open and kind of gives it a little change of pace and puts it down. Now she gets a serve.
Coach Cornelius talking to his girls about filling the lanes. That was knocked out of bounds by Crystal. Another point by the Lady Vikings. Now they've cut it to 3.
She needed to finish that one a little better. She has a wrong angle to keep it in bounds.
Momentum shifts back. Good to see Dillingham back in, number 4. Kind of took a tumble in that second game over by the post, by the net post. Delatorre serves up, too far. Point back in the other direction. 10-7.
Well, several serves here have gone out of bounds or into the net. That's really frustrating for coaches.
We saw them both teams. Well, we saw the Lady Tigers get in a groove. They reeled off about 7 straight points. Nimitz made a small comeback and cut it to 2, and since then they've kind of gone back and forth. Viking win here in this game, and that'll be the match, and we'll go 2-0 in district play. Dillingham dig down for that one. Anaya got it over the net. And a slam and a point by Riley Rodriguez, the senior. She had a good game, number 7. Or number 6, excuse me. Yeah. Right in bounds.
Hits it on the.
You ever play beach volleyball? That'll work your legs.
It will.
Benavides unable to get any extension on that hit.
Olympic volleyball, where there's just 2 of them and they're on the sand, is, boy, they really work. And they're unbelievable athletes, both males and females.
Well, we're getting back in this little groove here, Coach, to where it's like no one can get more than a point or 2 at a time, and a lot of unforced errors. That first game was really exciting, 25-20. Kind of slowed down in the second. This one's tight. Benavides saves that one. Pensado, the lefty. Dillingham gets it over the net. The push, the hit. Rio saves.
Oh, nice save.
Yep, Anaya. That one might have gone out.
Set.
Yep, Orozco. Delatorre had it over here to the near side, and Orozco again says, I got to keep it in play. Jenkins does her best. Set up, Jenkins keeps it in play. Benavides, both Benavides and Rodriguez ran into each other. Benavides called it, but Rodriguez was already on her way back. It's like an outfielder in baseball.
Yeah, no matter what level of sport you are, that just happens sometimes in a game. A couple people miscommunicate, run into each other.
That was a big point that Coach Cornelius talked to me about, was communication. Scoring a point. Now that was with authority, and that was a good set and a good play.
I think one of the things, well, here's the replay. Again, they get to set it, you know, with ease. They get to set it. They're taking their time, and they're getting to set it. Really good spots for their big players.
This time Flores says, I've got one for you. Take that.
There's too much power for that on that one.
Yeah, even with 2 blockers in her sights, instead of trying to go right at him, like you said, she went at the angle. Hit it where they're not.
I think one of the things that's happened here is both of the teams are subbing a lot, and so maybe that's a little bit why we're going back and forth. It's not just some new players coming in and doing some different things.
Benavides another kill. Got it down to a point. Dillingham will come back down, and Figueroa, the setter, coming back in. Much shorter front line for the Lady Tigers, as Rodriguez serves it up for the Lady Vikes. Delatorre's got to keep it in play. Gray does her job. Benavides, and saved and dug nicely by Alvarado. Twice. That time Rios dug it out. The hit, Gray keeps it in play at the net. Hit. No. First I thought maybe Flores hit it twice. What did you see there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why he's calling her on the net, I think.
Well, let's watch. Did she?
Oh, the ball hit the net bounced into her, I think, maybe. I don't know. That's interesting.
Coach E looking for an explanation as well.
Yeah. They're all a little puzzled, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if we have another angle of that, whether or not Morado hit the net. I mean, it appears to me that's what he's calling, but nonetheless, back in action. And Morado lifted or hit the net, whatever. Let's watch the previous play and see if she hits the net at all.
I just can't tell.
No.
We'll just give that one to the referee because he's right there. And I will say everybody makes a big deal out of the instant replay now in all the sports. And some people say I don't know, the games are longer and stuff, but I'm amazed at how many they get right, to be honest with you.
Well, it pretty much validates that they do, a 98% good job, 99%. They're going to miss it. They're human. You've got to.
Those professional sporting events, the pitches are coming at 100 miles an hour.
There was a game, was it the Bronco game in the NFL? I think one of the officials broke his collarbone. I'm surprised they don't get hurt more often.
Another one of those serves drives the coaches crazy.
Irving nursing a 2-point lead that they've kept pretty much throughout this game. Nimitz looking to finish off. Orozco in play by Centuro. Off the hands, got to get it back across. Benavides. And Flores gets some help by Centuro.
Another good point.
Boy, look at Orozco. Dig that one out. Hit it where they're not.
She's just having an excellent game.
Gray goes out. Jenkins back in. Look at the dig right there by Orozco.
Oh, great athletic play. That's what you have your libero in for, is that play right there.
Box got the point. This goes off the hands of Delatorre, and now we've got a tie game at 16.
Before this, I think the Tigers had kind of taken the Viking crowd and the football players out of the game a little bit.
They're tired. They're over there talking about their girlfriends or something. We haven't heard much from those guys.
Let's see if Nimitz doesn't make a little bit of run, if it doesn't get a little louder in here.
They made the football team sit down, and it took all their oomph away. Oh, how did Nimitz keep that one in play? Incredible. Boy, if they get this point, could be a turning point. Jenkins, can't bring it home.
It's just a miss hit there.
Watch him. There's the block.
Oh, great save off the net.
Box. Jenkins. All right, this is Delatorre.
Great hustle.
That's what you want. Irving by 1. Box slams that one. Anaya giving up a few height-wise there. Couldn't block it. We're tied again at 17 now.
Coach Cornelius was telling her to work on her angle on those blocks. Got a little bit better chance if you get your angle right.
Dillingham saved it, and so did Delatorre. Who are they going to give it to? They're going to give it to Rodriguez. Who gets
got a chance to put one away.
Double block, saved by Anaya. Left hand by Dillingham, keeps it in play. Orozco. Who almost used her hand to stop that one instead of her fist. The finesse saved over the net. And Irving gets the point.
Oh, great point. It was 17-17 before that one. Key ball was in play a long time, and there were several great plays.
Morado just couldn't save it. And first time I really heard a lot of enthusiasm from the bench of Irving High. Might have been an emotional point for the Lady Tigers. Now they've got 2 in a row, and they're up 19-17. Lady Vikings thought they had the point. Did they think that Irving touched the net?
Yeah, and the referees weren't calling it. I think the ball hit the net. Yeah.
Never went across.
Yeah, the ball hit the net and forced the net into the players maybe. Yeah, it looks a little bit like it, but it's the ball that's hit the net.
Not the players.
Yeah, not the players. It really makes the net jump. Yeah. But Coach E's getting an explanation from it, from our down official.
Do volleyball coaches get thrown out? Have you had to
They
toss?
have. It's interesting you say that. A lot of people don't know this, but there's actually a yellow and red card system, much like soccer.
Oh, really? In volleyball?
Yeah, and so first they'll get a yellow card, which puts them in their seats. They can't walk around. They have to be in their seat.
For the entire match?
Yeah, so mostly you get a yellow card. You don't get ejected really, because then
you'd have to get out of your seat.
Yeah, they get quiet.
Was it in? Yes, it was. Irving thought that one was wide. Watch again.
Here's the replay. And the referee asked for a little help.
Oh, that's in.
Definitely in, but he asked for a little help, and the basketball coach that's on the running the flag over there, he said it was in.
He was right. It was a good call.
Actually, it wasn't even close. As we say in slow motion after we see it in slow motion.
Right.
Wasn't even close.
Miles will come in. Jones will come out now.
Again, this is what the libero, not the libero's already in, but yeah, that's a 7 or 8 inches of difference there going into the game. Get a good look at it here.
It seems to me, in my limited amount of volleyball games that we have done here, that most of the time it seems like the wasted time is spent on players being in the right position. It seems like the refs spend more time with that than anything. Am I right?
There's a lot of ways that the volleyball coaches can sort of
manipulate
the rules.
I gotcha.
So you have to focus on it a little bit.
And a score. I believe that was Jenkins, number 9. Which is like, finally, I get one.
We're back tied up again.
Yeah, just like that.
Here's the replay. Just a little touch.
That seems to be a soft spot right there for the Lady Tigers. They've given up a few points in that same spot right behind the blockers. Kept alive, hit twice, can't do it. Point over to Irving.
Well, that last play with Jenkins with the feather touch, that's a kind of a perfect example. If they get up there and they're not set really to pound it, then they'll go with the little touch shot. So if they're a little off balance or don't feel it, that was a pretty powerful shot there.
Yeah.
Was feeling that.
Rodriguez did. Well, now that Jenkins is going out, we've got Rodriguez is in there, Miles is in there, Benavides is in there, and also Morado is in there. You've got 3 players with some good size in for Nimitz.
Yeah, and I think we hadn't really pointed out Rodriguez has quietly had a really good match.
Well, Benavides tried to get a little fancy there and finesse, and she was met with resistance, and the Lady Vikings.
Is this Flores over here?
Yeah.
Nice play. She's trying to keep her team in it.
Well, she is.
She is.
If it's front line play, she definitely is. Dug out by Rios. Flores says, I'm just going to get it across the net. Defensive move by Dillingham. That was like, don't hurt me. Keep it in my space. This time Benavides gets the point. Benavides has had that look on her face like, I dare you not to call that a point.
Here's the replay. You can only block and only dig so many times, and Nimitz is just getting too many opportunities to put the ball away.
Tied at 21. Oh, she probably could have let that one go. Easy for us to say. She's looking at her coach like, okay, yeah, that's Rodriguez, number 6. Coach E, a little disgusted look on her face there. As the Lady Tigers are up by 1. First one to 25. Must-win situation for Irving. Box, slam, bam. Tied again at 22. The attack and kill. Wham.
Impressive. Nice serve. They're off balance.
That's what Jones does. Unable to save it. It was Morado. And now the Lady Tigers back up by 1.
Boy, they're really able to save that. We've got Flores now serving, so this is Tigers have a really good opportunity here. And here we're looking for a little explanation. And again, even though they really might have a good reason for asking whatever it is, this is a good momentum killer. It's another coach's trick. Hey, what's going on here?
Now she's called time.
Oh, so she really wants to kill it.
Remember what I said in the second game or the first game, that 23 was the magic number for a timeout?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about these games on ICTN and future games that we'll be covering. We also are recognizing the best local athletic program with our Bob Berry All Sports Award. For each sport from cross country to baseball, the top finishing school in the district standings will receive 3 points. 2 points for second, 1 point for third. We'll total up the scores for both the boys and the girls sports, as well as the athletic programs at each school, to see who earned the most points. And that school will earn the Bob Berry All-Around All Sports Award. Volleyball's part of it, football's part of it as well. All right, here we go, down to the nitty-gritty, and Orozco can't save it. The Tigers are 1 away.
Great serve.
This time the timeout didn't do any good, and the Irving fans are making noise. The first time, I think, tonight that they've done it. Game point. Set.
Good dig. Nice
saved
block. Nicely
by Figueroa. And point goes to Nimitz. 2 hits. 24-23. Ball in possession of the Lady Vikings. Don't forget, you got to win by 2. And they did. What a way to end it, right?
One of the things I really like about volleyball is how they switch sides after games. No baseball team switches dugouts even after a double header or anything. So that's one of the things that's very unique and fun about volleyball.
All right, well, we've finished 3, headed for 4. We'll be back with the 4th game right after this. All right, game number 4. Nimitz leading 2-1. And the Lady Vikings put a different lineup as Coach E opts to go with a pretty tall lineup as she has Rodriguez, Morado in there, Benavides, and then Gray and Orozco. I don't think I've seen that that tall lineup very often tonight. Give the Lady Tigers some credit here. They are definitely not as tall. Outmanned on the front line there by the net. The middle blocker's not as tall as the Lady Vikings, but
yeah, I think Coach E is able to do that because both Morado and Rodriguez are pretty good at setting up and playing all over the court, so that gives her a little bit more flexibility.
So here we go, the first one underway. A missed slam by Miles. She plays the right side, and it's 1-0 Irving.
She just missed that one, and Morado's giving her a little pep talk.
Cynthia Figueroa is the server. Gray kind of changed up a little bit there. Instead of setting up, they gave it to the backside. That one just crawls over the net.
You get a couple of those every match.
And that's when things are going your way. And the Lady Tigers out to a 2-0 lead. Gray, nice dig. Rios also with a nice save on the other side. Over the net by Pensada. Benavides. Rios was there to stop that one. A quick push back over by Flores. Benavides, it goes off the hands. Nope, double hit. Double hit or a lift. And it's 3-0 Irving. What a nice start for the Lady Tigers. Benavides says, I'm going to get one across the net or else. Third time's a charm. And they break that streak.
She really gets up, and then she has a nice angle across the court away from the blockers. Really nice spike there. Okay, the shutout's over.
Yep, and Rodriguez will serve. We had this the last time we were here. Some of the lights go out here in the course of the match. Most of them where the fans sit. The ball is out. Tatiana put a little too much oomph on that. 4-1 Irving, game 4.
She was a little further back away from the net. I think she thought she had to put some more mustard on it.
Pensado had that one slip off her hand a little bit and curve off to the right. Miles will sit down. And Jones comes in. It's that trade-off that Coach E likes to do when one of the bigs has to serve, and she'll bring Jones in there. That is out, hit a little too hard by Alvarado.
Well, they've had a couple big runs of Jones serving, so here's 1 point. Let's see if it can keep going.
You know, you would think that based on what we saw, that Irving should be up like 6-0 or 6-1 by now. But you look up and Nimitz is down by just a point. Save, Flores. Orozco digs that one out. Orozco calling off a teammate, and it goes out of bounds. And both Jones and Orozco looking at each other. Jones, the junior, and Orozco, the senior.
Coach E not happy.
Communication breakdown. 5-3, Irving. Lizeth Flores.
Coach Cornelia talking to Flores. See if the strategy pays off.
Yeah, it worked. Whatever you said, it worked.
Good job, Coach.
Right past Orozco.
Yeah, actually, Sonny said before the game he was talking about how his team was up and down. It looks like when they're up, they can play with the Vikings. And maybe when they're down, they're not quite as good.
And a timeout very quickly.
Early.
By Coach E, as here she is now down by 4 in game 4. Won the first one 25-20. Cruised to the second at 25-9. And then that third game.
Well, I think she called a timeout here real quick because Not maybe because they just got behind by a couple points, but it was the things that were happening. The middle miscommunication, out of position sort of on a serve where he didn't really get a good shot at it. So maybe she's trying to get him to refocus and regroup. And it's okay if our mistakes are like a spike that goes long out of bounds, but when we're having the simpler mistakes, that's a sign of not concentrating. So he's probably trying to get them back in order, get them their heads back together.
And you know it's frustrating for the front line if they can't get those spikes to work. A lot of jumping, and it is late. You know, the legs get tired. Takes a little more to get off the floor.
Such an emotional lift.
Second time in a row we've seen Benavides just hit it straight into the net.
Those are the kind of things I think that why coach called that timeout. Didn't change everything.
No, and maybe she's getting tired, you know?
It could be.
Lose the concentration. Give these Lady Tigers credit. Everything that they're doing is working. Crystal Anaya with the point there. 9-4. If we go to the fifth game, it'll be first one to 15. Got a long way to go here, though. But right now, it's almost like the Lady Vikings are sleepwalking.
Yeah, and the Tigers are making a run with really about their shortest lineup. And the Vikings have a real height advantage here, but it's not even coming into play.
Roscoe. Ariana's.
So there's no opportunity at the net on that play.
Dillingham had it blocked. Still goes across. Box. This time she makes it count. And they break the streak a little bit. It's a 5-point game. Box goes out. Rodriguez back in.
Here's the replay. Box is again just so much higher than everybody. That was a nice play. Was that Del Torre that got a hand on that?
I believe it was Dillingham.
Dillingham?
Yeah. Dillingham, the lefty.
Yeah, she really stands out. It's kind of funny how being left-handed, you stand out there.
Yeah.
Her angles are different.
You don't see that many lefties, do you, playing
No,
volleyball?
No. But the coaches only like to use them in certain ways.
Anaya got that one across. Jenkins now in. Blocked. Jenkins saves. Orozco got to get it across. It's returned by Anaya and done nicely, I might add. Everyone's just on the Lady Vikings. They just seem to be out of sync and just not in their zones.
Well, in volleyball, you only get 2 timeouts per game, so coach is probably saving the second one for a little later. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was up on her feet with him here in a minute.
Anaya cannot get that one across. Point goes to the Lady Vikes, and we have that switch off where Jones comes out, Miles comes back in. Morado doing the serve. Anaya saved. Miles back across. Delatorre does her best to keep it in play. And the 2 hands with Pensada does her job for the Tigers. Nice little push over. Irving. Pensada doing it again. Yeah. Orozco to Jenkins, and no. You know, you can see even right there that the setup just wasn't where it needed to be.
She definitely had to reach for that one.
Sammy Rios, the libero, been in there most of the game. Out of bounds, point, Irving.
Dillingham using her head on that one. No, she's using that timeout. She's through with them now.
She said to heck with it, right?
We won't be calling an idiot 23 this time.
Unless she makes a massive comeback and it's Sunny that does the 23. That'll be the only way. She's I think this is more of a pep talk than anything. I mean, I can't read her lips, but I mean,
she's lively. She's animated, but it's not like she's chewing them.
No.
She's pumping them up, but she's
right.
And you know, she might be telling them, "Hey, it's time to get emotional. It's time to.
Right.
We're kind of been sleepwalking. Let's
right.
wake up. Let's get after it. We're better than this. Come on."
Yeah. Like you said, almost more of an emotional plea to get back in your game.
Well, you really hit the nail on the head as we were getting started, talking about how she said that she were having a hard time putting them away.
Tigers up by 6. Rios will serve again. Miles with authority, and the point goes to the Lady Vikings. That one all the way to the top. Jenkins sets down. Gray comes back out. Gray, one of the basketball players.
Nice athlete.
Makes the serve count. Dillingham, the lefty, across the net. The save up, the push, and another point.
I think she got that one on the way going up.
Riley with authority.
There it is. See if she sets it. No, she waits for it to come down. She just had a better position than Rios.
That's half the battle, isn't it? Is this position?
Lots of times. You gotta, again, like we were talking about earlier, you gotta move your feet. And that again goes to the setup. How well are your girls at getting the ball in the net where it's a good position for you and difficult for their team to block, or they can't make a play on it.
Benavides with the slam, and now the Lady Vikings have reeled off a few in a row. And Mo is now wearing the purple and white.
All right, we got a ball game
Nimitz,
here.
yeah. And that goes off the hands of Rios. And now it's a 1-2 point game, and Sonny calls time. So we've got one timeout left, right, total? Might come down to it.
Yeah, this game might not get over quickly, but it won't because, well, they'll have already called their timeout. They've slowed it down as much as they can.
They can. Hey, beginning October 1st, you can watch some great games of the past on the Game of the Week Classics Network. We'll have crosstown matchups like this, postseason playoff showdowns, and classic contests for more than 30 years of the Game of the Week. 30 years and more. Time Warner Channel 96, Verizon 32, AT&T Universe, RUverse 99. The golden age when we were using tubes for cameras.
So how many games of the week do you think Scott Snyder's been at?
About every one of them at the first year, I think. Back to action after the timeout. Flores, she hits the net.
Just a miss hit.
It's just amazing how one moment everything you touch is golden, and then right after that you miss hit, like you said. It's a 1 point game.
Both coaches are up now, pretty involved.
Heads up play by Sammy Rios, libero, and that served by Gray. Instead of fielding it, she just kicked it back and said, hey, let it go over my head, we'll get an easy point.
I think Gray was just a little pumped up. She just had to put a little too much energy and excited.
Dillingham, the lefty. Another set up, another slam. Nice save, almost by the Lady Tigers. Dillingham hit it first. Flores tried to go backwards. Couldn't do it. Figueroa
the
now
replay.
in.
Just nice location. Nice try by the Dillingham.
Rios, that's the second hit. Dillatore gets it across. The push, box, yes. I've noticed here at least the last 4 or 5 points for Nimitz, how they've been able to set it up in the center so well, like right there. This time it was Morado. Rodriguez and Morado are setting up extremely well right in the middle. and they're getting them to fall in, but the serves are killing them as Rodriguez hits the net and Orozco comes back in. Now Evelyn Pensado, the outside hitter, serving it up. Gray handled it nicely. Tatiana gets the point.
Yeah, calls it in. All right, so we're tied again, 15-all.
Back where we started from. Everybody look out.
Slow it down.
Yep. Boom.
Is that in?
I think so.
Yeah, good. Good camera angle.
Jones.
Here it goes.
Another kill, another point.
It's too hot to handle.
Box with great elevation, and Rios really couldn't use both arms for it and just went off the left arm.
He's absolutely getting up there. Yeah.
Flores hits the net. Lady Vikings, and looky here, they're up by 2.
Yeah, we're feeling the momentum changing a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. The great thing about Box is she's such a great jumper and has really long arms. It's easy to set up for her.
Rotation error.
Coach doesn't like that. We were set up wrong somehow. We had someplace in the wrong spot. An easy point, but given away.
And now it's a 3-point Lady Viking lead. Jones still serving, and that one falls right into no man's land. Evelyn Pensado dove for it, and now the final timeout, I believe, if each team only gets 2.
That's
Coach Cornelius uses his last timeout, and everyone's out of TOs. And we ought to have that in basketball, only 2 timeouts a half. That would be great.
I think the rule in basketball is every team gets 2 timeouts in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah,
no
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Homecoming match on ICTN coming up in a couple of weeks. Note the changes there on the airtime. It's the Nimitz Vikings playing host to the Sunset Bison. Gosh, how long has it been, Mr. Snyder, since we saw Sunset come a-calling? I can't recall Sunset. It's been a while, if at all. Homecoming game in a couple of weeks on ICTN. Jones with another. Far corner saved by Benavides. Push back up. Tatiana with the point. And it all started with Morado, who did a really good job keeping that one alive and then setting it up.
Here's that setup.
Yep.
Tatiana's really good at, she can spike the ball from a couple yards off of the net. Not everybody can do that.
Jones, Morado, box.
Good touch. The momentum has definitely changed now. And the timeout didn't do anything for the Tigers.
Again, Morado sets it. Box finishes it. Gray. Delatorre. Jones kept it in play again. Box, and she hits the net.
I think she might have out-jumped that one.
And maybe not quite as high that Morado was able to do, but Irving stops the bleeding, and now they're back to serving.
Got their good server up. Oh, nice save.
And a point. That was a bang-bang play at the net. I don't know how you officials can tell who touched it and who didn't.
That was. Well, that down official's got a pretty good angle at it usually. He's right there. But it is fast.
Gray.
Okay, there ought to be a good setup here.
Benavides with the point. 22-17.
And the Tigers are just when they're just trying to get the ball over the net. So when they don't, here comes great setup. She's got an option of where to go. It's too much to handle.
Even Flores couldn't handle that one. All right, now here's Tatiana. Remember, she's had trouble serving. Gets this one across, and it works. Pensado was like ducking at the time. It came at an angle where she thought she would just duck down and let Rios handle it, but it was really confusing. And another point. So Benavides making up for those serves that hit the net. Match point.
I love it when they have those little service aces kind of, and then all the players get together and stomp their foot.
Rios, Benavides
Okay,
keeps it in
you're
play.
going to be able to set up another
Box. That's it.
inbounds.
So the Lady Vikings put an end to it. The final play, why not box with the slam? Boy, right on the line. And Nimitz now goes 2-0 in district. And the Lady Tigers drop to 0-2. But you know, Coach, they could have folded when they lost that second game 25-9.
No, and I got to tell you, I know Sonny, and I know how he'll spin it. He'll try to make this an emotional win for his girls. They did a lot of right things, and then you know, one by one, he'll try to he'll work on the negatives. He'll work on the things that went wrong, but he'll try to do that one-on-one and not make it address the team. The team, it'll be, okay, we really battled back. We did a great job. We didn't give up.
And for the Lady Vikings, they now go 13-8 overall. But more importantly for Nimitz Nation, they go 2-0 in district and stay on top of that race in District 9 6A. So for the home folk, a fun time. The football team gets to celebrate and laugh a little bit as well as the Lady Vikings win this one in 3 out of 4 at home in district play. So that'll do it for our ICTN Game of the Week. Appreciate Mark Zeski stepping in and providing the colored commentary. I'm Rob Willman. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on the ICTN Game of the Week.
Irving Game of the Week has been brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning,